Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back Friday night. It's good to see you. No, Trish did not do any show tonight. I got an email from her a few hours ago. She's already packing and getting ready to go to SLC. So she's done. She ain't going to be on, I don't think, at all this weekend. From what I understand from the email she sent me, it's just me until Monday. So you guys have me until Monday. Yeah, so you guys have me. There you go. Yeah, I'm back. We had a great night last night. Went out for my birthday. It was really good. Got to see everyone. Got in a great family fight where we had a great night, but we're arguing over some details about a trip we're taking in December. It's fun. It's fun traveling with family. It's great fun. Hear the sarcasm in my voice? All right. Yes, I did hear about Four Sons' mom. She's been a great friend to me over the last like 4 or 5 years, and to hear what's going on is really concerning. And I all I can hope is that she's going to get better soon. I it doesn't sound great, and I wish her a speedy recovery. I really do. The last thing I heard is that she's quite ill. I mean, I don't know how much detail I'm allowed to go into. The last thing I heard is that she's quite ill. So that's as far as I can go into it without someone giving me permission to talk further. Um, yeah, that's it. Yeah, hope she can get better. Yeah, there's more to it. I'd rather let someone who's closer to her or even Trish explain more. I don't know how much Trish told you, so all I'll say is that it doesn't look great. She's quite ill, and we're all praying that she gets better quickly. We're going to Tasmania for a wedding, for another wedding, but this one is a little closer to home. This one isn't a family friend or something. This one's a direct family member, and we're going to some Hobunk town in frickin' Tasmania to go stay at like a 2-star hotel that's that's junk. We're just annoyed at it's just anytime you travel with family and stuff, it's just a pain. I mean, I'm very thankful for our family. They do a lot, and they do a lot of the planning and stuff and take a lot of that stress out of our hands, but just oftentimes we're not consulted on things, and we're just told, "Go do that. That'll do." And, some of our requirements are not listened to, which can be frustrating. But I mean, I appreciate the work they do. They do a lot. It's just, you know, traveling is stressful anytime. When planning things for 12, 15 people to travel all together in a group is a nightmare. So, and then having to listen to everyone's individual things is, There's a devil there, a Tasmanian devil? I wanna see that. Actually, I don't know what we're doing. I'd like to go travel a little bit while we're down there because 'cause I've never been there. So, alright, hey, I think we've met the requirement of, catching up and, just chatting. Now I have a whole bunch of different updates. There is updates coming out of everywhere, including that woman, Jessica. She's been located. When I woke up this morning, I noticed, like, there was um, a whole bunch of people going crazy that she had been located, and I'm just gonna pull up this, story. I don't know why we're in I don't know why we're in ABC Chicago, but okay. She's not Chicago, it's Naperville, but okay. Yeah. So it's saying here, "Hey, guys, how are you?" Got the camera back on. We're back. It says here, a Naperville native who went missing earlier this week while traveling from Florida to South Carolina to visit family has been found safe. And from what I understand, Her main injury is mostly she's been eaten alive by bug bites while she was out in the wilderness. Not a lot of details about what actually happened, just that they found her around the location of where her car went missing. So, you know, SF Investigate said that this may be a a medical induced episode or something like that. Some sort of health crisis is the way I would put it. Because I was saying that she may be running from an enemy who's not actually there, if that makes sense. They're saying here police found her car abandoned the night on Tuesday, and it was stuck on the railroad tracks. The woman's keys, shoes, and cell phone were still inside the car. Car was still warm, but had been sitting for a while on private property on Creek Plantation near South Carolina. So they're saying here, finding Jessica was a team effort, according to the sheriff. We all worked together and did not give up hope. She's been taken to a hospital where she will be evaluated and given treatment. The Rapsis family would like to extend their deepest thanks to everyone who helped find Jessica and respectfully ask for privacy at this time. There you go. So I'll play the little video. It's like 20 seconds. Yeah.
Naperville has been found safe in South Carolina. Jessica Rapsis disappeared while traveling from Florida to South Carolina to visit family. She was last seen Tuesday evening in Allendale, South Carolina. Police found her car abandoned later that night, stuck on railroad tracks. Investigators are not saying where or how they found her.
Yeah, not a lot of details about how she was found, who found her, why she was found. It's all a little so Steve Fisher from SF Investigates, all he said about 12 hours ago was she's been found alive, she's been transported to hospital but is alive. Further details will come later from the family. So but no statement from the family other than they are asking for privacy. That's it. According to one of her family members, they posted on Facebook saying they found Jessica. She is alive and on her way to the hospital. Vid and Laura have said to tell everyone that she has been found. Thank you to everyone who forwarded, prayed, and thought of the family throughout this ordeal. What a wonderful outcome. I agree. Anytime we can get someone back that we're not like, oh, we found them in a ditch off I-35. That is a great ending. I'll take those any day off. Oh, we now have a murder investigation and we have to wait for the medical examiner. I'd rather have people being found and getting to a hospital and getting treatment. Um, so apparently the news first broke on a local radio station reporting that she had been found alive and well and waiting official law enforcement confirmation. Law enforcement did confirm later on. Yeah, that's about all I have. I don't think I have anything. Yeah, that sounds like it, but, great news, great news. Anytime we can bring someone home is a great day. So it was 11 hours ago. I wonder if she's been released yet from hospital, although she's probably needs fluids and all that type of stuff. She's been out in the wilderness for ages. About, what is it, like 3 or 4 days? It's a while. You sent me a story with a happy ending. Is it a massage story? Oh, we already did this one. Kathy, we did this one the other night. We have done this one. I think we did it Monday night, Tuesday night. I'll show everyone what we're talking about. This one. We did this one the other day. This is Volusia County. That's the police officer who rescued the child out of the water. Yeah, we actually did this one the other night. But thank you, I appreciate it. But it's really great story having that little boy being found. And we learned that officer had recently undergone autism training to learn how to deal with people with autism and like how to yeah, like how to communicate with them, what you can do, how to approach them, that type of thing. So he knew how to handle the situation. All right. Apparently, I had two emails today about a live chase in LA and a standoff. Now, I looked up both of those. Apparently, the car chase was some woman in a car just driving around LA with no one chasing her. Did you all see this earlier? I'll see if I can find it. It is odd. Here. She was just driving around and no one was chasing her. The cops weren't chasing her. There was no cars, and she's on the run from nobody.
All right, we have some breaking news. Police in pursuit in Compton of a stolen vehicle. Eliana Moreno is live in News Chopper 4. Eliana, what can you tell us so far?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Annabelle. This is a police pursuit that it's making its way here through Carson. We're currently westbound on the 91 freeway, and this was the LA County Sheriff's Department in pursuit with their airship only. But I am hearing that they're trying to get the California Highway Patrol to take over because the chase just jumped on the freeway from surface streets. Patrol to take over because the chase just jumped on the freeway from surface streets. Now, the vehicle is that white Kia Soul that you see in the center of the shot, clocking speeds up to 95 miles an hour, and the want is stolen vehicle.
So they ended up she ended up getting back off the highway and getting into a residential area. She bailed from the car and ended up in an apartment complex. Cops went in there and they ended up arresting her, but like just very odd. Who was she running from? It's very strange. I don't have too many details, unfortunately. It says here the LAPD were in pursuit of a woman driver of a stolen Kia Soul in LA on LA County on Friday afternoon. It says the pursuit began just after 4 p.m. in the South Bay area. LAPD initiated the chase and decided to stop the ground pursuit, continuing to monitor the driver from the air. The driver had several close calls with vehicles and pedestrians while traveling at high speeds. The woman got out of the stolen car and abandoned it in South Los Angeles. The woman then tried to hitchhike. Oh, right, I remember that. So she bailed from her car, got out, tried to hitchhike. No one would pick her up. And then she ran and hid in an apartment complex. Very strange. They're saying after she was trying to hitchhike, no one picked her up. And an arrest was made at an apartment complex in Watts, where the woman attempted to evade authorities. I think I had a video of it. Hold on. Driver of stolen Kia. I had a video of her in the apartment complex. Let me see if I can find it. Because it is bizarre. Let me go to ABC 7. Uh-huh. Here. Oh, it's not gonna give me the video, unfortunately. But there she is. That's after she bailed from the Kia. And then she was trying to hitchhike with people. Then she ran into an apartment complex and cops came and basically arrested her. One of the weirdest chases I've seen in the in California. Very odd. That's probably as fast as a Kia could go, maybe. On the second floor. Yeah, it was very strange. Very, very strange. Imagine running from yourself. I'm running from the helicopter. Don't think you can run away from the helicopter. I think the helicopter will always win. I'll see if I can find it quickly because it is funny. Let me see. Duration. KTLA. We could try KTLA 5. Yeah, I'll show you the end bit. Let's see if we can go to the end. So this is the apartment complex here.
To get away. So here we are now live over a live picture, trying to see if she'll pop out from that garage under this pink building, but so far she has not. And we're also waiting for law enforcement to arrive.
Well, here she goes into an apartment complex down the alleyway. LAPD units were trying to get into position. Maybe she spotted one and is now turning into that alleyway there between apartment complexes, but we lost point.
A lot.
You got her. You got her right behind that white tent.
There she is.
Trying to blend in right now. But wow, she really...
I am hearing CH... Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I am hearing CHP talking about her walking down the street, so they're trying to get their units in position. She's definitely in the LAPD area right now. She's looking like she wants to hitchhike, and that's a good look at her right now as she continues down Compton Avenue.
Boy, for the last half hour or so, she really has been doing a lot of damage and have had a lot of people on edge in this community for sure, especially if you're watching and this is your community.
So there you go. There's a bit of a look at her. After she got out of that car, she just started moseying down the road, trying to hitchhike, and then she bolted into that apartment building you saw at the start and almost had a bit of a siege going on for about, no, not a siege, but she was there for a little bit. You know, DJ, that's an interesting point. They said the car was stolen a few days ago, so maybe she was not even the person that stole the vehicle. Very possible. It's extremely possible that a friend of a friend said, "Hey, I've got a car. Do you want to borrow it?" And she maybe had no idea that it was even stolen. These community cars are not uncommon, and I've seen people steal vehicles and then hand them around the neighborhood for a period of time with stolen license plates or whatever. It happens. It's a real thing, so maybe that could be the explanation. But there you go. Very odd, a strange, a strange chase, running from no one, or running from a helicopter, I guess. But and then we have what else happened while we were asleep? My friend Maria said there was a live standoff as well, but that was in a different... I'm pretty sure that was in a different county. That was... Let me see. Was that in Pittsburgh? Is that the right one? There was a there was a standoff. I can't remember where it was now, but there was one a couple of hours ago. People were watching. I'm just trying to see if it's in my notes or not. Let's see from this morning. Oh, Bakersfield. Bakersfield. That's where it was. No, Bakersfield? I don't know. There was a standoff, but I don't have any footage of it. Sorry. But that was from Maria. She was telling me. All right, let's keep going. I want to talk about the one that DJ sent me because this is really important. There was a case we spoke about recently about a woman who was found dead. And there's a video footage, and you see her, what we think is a guy and a girl walking away from the scene. Do you guys remember that footage? And it was in Texas. Well, the victim's name was Alyssa Ann Rivera, and they found some interesting information on this, and I'm glad DJ told me about it because this is not the update I thought they were going to give. I thought they were going to say, "Oh, hey, we found the person who killed her. The person was known to her. It was a friend and whatever, and they now charged with murder." Well, no, that's not what happened. They now are saying police have learned of a DNA link between the murder case of Alyssa and a Bastrop County Sheriff's Office case from 2018. So we may have a potential serial killer on our hands roaming around a couple of different counties. The fact that he killed someone or allegedly he or she, I don't know, killed someone in 2018, and then they killed Miss Rivera. That is very, very concerning that they've been on the loose for so long. I'm going to show you that update from Fox 7 Austin. It's only about 10 minutes, and you'll get the. We'll stop it when they get to questioning. I just want you to hear the outline here.
The homicide department. This is Christopher Anderson, CHRISTOPHER, last name Anderson, ANDERSON. And on the furthest over here, this is.
Sorry, before we get to that, I'll go back and I'll show you this. Stop that. There you go. This is the footage. So if you remember this, we thought this fellow here on the closest to the camera is a guy, and the person on the outside we were speculating might be a female. And there's another footage. There is Alyssa, by the way. And here's apparently this is the other victim from Bastrop County. Her name was Alba Avalez, and she was found dead in her vehicle in 2018. They're saying investigators said she met her killer at a venue in Austin called Club Caribe, which is just 3 miles from where Rivera was killed. So he's operating in a 3-mile radius. That is concerning. But you guys would have remembered this footage I played a while ago of them moseying down the street. This is for Alyssa's murder. And we were like, that's a woman and a guy. That's a lady and a dude. But that definitely looks like a guy. Yeah, so that was the old footage. I wanted to show you that before we did, and there's the other camera facing the other way. I wanted to show it to you to jog your memory before we went to the new press conference. So I hope everyone remembers we've done this one a few times, spoken about the couple of small updates over the last couple of months, which haven't been many. We haven't had very many. So there you go. Let's go back to the press conference at Fox 7.
Is the sergeant of the homicide department. This is Nathan Sexton, Nathan, last name Sexton, Sexton. And we do have a press release with all this information also that should be coming your way as well to all your inboxes. But I think we should be good to get things going.
All right, thank you guys for coming out this afternoon. I'm going to speak on my case first. On June 22nd, 2024, at approximately 4:06 p.m., Austin Police Department officers responded to the call of a deceased person at 2606 Metcalf Road. The caller had stated they seen what appeared to be a deceased person at this location. Officers arrived and located an obviously deceased female in an abandoned house. This female was later identified as Alyssa Rivera. She was pronounced deceased at 4:34 p.m. by Dr. Escott. Homicide detectives and crime scene specialists responded to process and interview witnesses. The investigation is still ongoing, but Rivera was murdered at this location by an unknown suspect, and her body was left at this residence. A press release for this murder was issued, as well as surveillance video showing a person of interest seen walking with the victim shortly before she was murdered. This was initially believed to be an isolated incident.
On August 7, 2024, there was a DNA link found between this case and April 14, 2018, unsolved murder of Alba Janice Avalis that is being investigated by the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office. The Austin Police Department has been in contact with the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office and discovered that on April 14, 2018, at approximately 7:30 a.m., the body of Alba Janice Avalis was discovered by a passing motorist. Alba was found in her silver sedan parked in the 300 block of Old San Antonio Road, Bastrop County, Texas. Avalos had been strangled, and it was ruled to be a homicide. Avalos was 28 years old. It was found that Avalos had been at Club Caribe on Felter Lane in Austin, Texas, the night she was murdered. This was just over 3 miles away from this 2024 murder.
There have been no suspects identified in either of these cases. Both murders appear to be sexual in nature. There's no known link between either victim. Both scenes have a similar MO.
One of the disturbing factors of these murders, he just told you there's no known link between either woman except for the killer. The other bit of information I have here is that there is no match on CODIS. There is no match, and they're saying that is extremely rare for them not to be able to get a match from 2 murder scenes on the CODIS database, considering they reckon that should this person be doing this type of crime, it's likely they would have been picked up in another crime, some point in the, you're talking 2018 to 2024. There's a chance he's been picked up for a petty crime or, some other type of violent incident. But the fact that there's no match is concerning, because how the hell are they going to find this person? They're saying here, it's also possible the 2 women aren't his only victims and they haven't been able to make the link between these 2 that they've been able to prove the link between, and probably a database of women in the age range that have been killed in a similar fashion in a 10-mile radius. And I'm sure they're looking into that right now. They're probably trying to filter through all those cases and see if any match the MO, sort of any hallmarks they might be keeping back from the public, that type of thing. But I'll get you back to him.
Currently, the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office has been working with the Texas Rangers to explore genealogy. And over here, you'll see some of the surveillance video that was prior put out with the initial press release.
So the videos and pictures will be sent to us, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
The videos already have been sent to you, but we are sending out the picture of the 2018 in the new press release.
So is this the video from 2018?
This is the video from the 2024 one.
So this subject was seen walking with our victim within 24 hours of her death. And we're currently calling him a person of interest.
This surveillance video was in the same vicinity of where the abandoned home was, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Dawson?
Yes.
We can open up to questions if anyone has questions.
What exactly is the connection between the 2 that you're suspecting as of now? I know the investigation is ongoing, but is there forensic speculation that this is what is linking the 2?
Correct. The actual link between the 2 is DNA that's linking the 2018 to our current murder.
Can you specify what DNA that is?
Just the suspect DNA at both scenes. I can't get into more specifics about it, but both victims are believed to have been sexually assaulted. There was DNA found at both scenes.
I just have to say, are the reporters struggling to put 2 and 2 together here? The guy is giving it to you like a softball. He's throwing underarm to you, reporter. He's like, I can't tell you, but there was sexual or SA on both crime scenes, but I cannot tell you what type of DNA linked between the suspects, okay? I cannot tell you. It's obviously that it's obviously some sort of maybe an SA kit was done or something like that, on the victim, which is probably true. They do that. They also take, when they do an autopsy of someone who is believed to have been in a sexually motivated crime, they often take swabs from all different areas, the the thighs, the face, around the mouth, around the breasts, the lady garden area, all those type of areas. They not just internally, they take on the outside, all that type of thing. So could have come from anywhere, could have come from clothing. It's not charades. No, he's giving them the answer. He just can't physically say it. He can't be like, yeah, so what we have 2 swabs on each victim. One is seminal fluid and the other one is some sort of saliva from the outside of, he can't go into details, but he's telling you both these were SA motivated attacks and we have DNA at both scenes that match each other. I mean, I think it's pretty easy, just hit the softball. Yeah, I know, he's like, "Come on, man. Are you guys awake here? What's going on?" 'Cause, earlier in the press conference, they're asking him, they're like, "Oh, is this video the one from 2018?" He's like, "Who have we got here today? This video we gave you this year for the murder that happened this year. Who did you guys send from the paper? Are you guys new? Did you not come to the press conference 3 months ago? What is going on?" He's very confused.
Multiple sources of DNA, both scenes, but the same suspect links back in both cases. Unfortunately, that suspect does not come back to what we call CODIS, the national database, so they're not in that system. Yes.
For the most recent suspect, Alyssa, she was found in a home dead. Do you know how she was killed?
She is believed to have been strangled as well.
So they were both strangled?
Correct.
Do you, when you looked at both scenes, were there, you said both were strangled, there were both similar lacerations or similar injuries or similar kind of ways in which it happened?
Correct, yes. There's trauma to the body on both as well.
Do you guys believe that it's just these 2 women at this point, or that there could potentially be more?
There could be more. These are the only 2 that we've actually linked through DNA. If there were other scenes or other crimes that the subject has perpetrated, it has not been linked back to this. Now, not to my knowledge, we don't have any outstanding murders matching anything even close to this MO, but these are the only 2 that are actually linked through DNA.
Yes, I mean, I know we have the video here, but is there any suspect description that, would be?
Sure. Generally through the course of our investigation, and this is preliminary, but we believe it to be a short Hispanic male. That's pretty, no.
I know that you said it's a person of interest. Do you know, based on kind of your video or observations, was it romantic or were they friends, or kind of the link or relationship between the 2?
Yeah, that's unclear. Yeah.
Even if he knew that information, I don't think he'd give it out at a press conference. Like, why would he? That information could be pertinent to the investigation later on. But that's a odd question. Was it romantic or was there a prior relationship? I'm not even sure they would know. The victim in this case is dead, and you don't know who the perpetrator is. So it's not like you can ask them, "Hey, were you guys dating? Did you have friends that knew that you were dating?" It's a odd question. Danny says, "A short Hispanic male." Oh my god, I know him. I feel like you could be like, it could be like 50,000 people within the Austin city limits. You could be anyone. It could be that guy over there, that one over there. It's not a great. Even the police officer here, the detective, he admitted it was a pretty crap descriptor. Like when he said it, he was just like shook his head. He's like, "It's crap. Like it's it's not going to help you. It's not. We need a name. We need someone to come forward and let us know. Hey, this person hangs around these areas, and I saw them with this one of the women. That's all you can do. That's what they need. Familial DNA, that would be interesting. But they did say they're trying to reach out to an investigative department, like maybe possibly the FBI's or one of the others. They have the genetic genealogy department. Maybe they can work back through the DNA they already have to try build the family tree, but it's going to take time and it's going to be a while. I did find it interesting. He said here, currently, right now, they don't have any other murders that specifically match this MO, but they didn't say that they didn't say no to 100% ruling out whether this person had committed similar crimes, just that they didn't have any in that region with that MO. So that's interesting. I wonder if they're investigating other regions within like Dallas Fort Worth, or other areas within Texas or Houston. Very interesting. DJ says, I wonder if they tested for Ladybird Lake water. Are you saying that he travels to Ladybird Lake and is a jewel a jewelopoly serial killer? So he's in this particular area, and then sometimes he heads to Ladybird Lake, and he's actually two people at the same time. Sometimes he pushes people into water, and sometimes he's a female-centric serial killer that only kills women. Depends what day of the week it is. You got it, Danny. I mean, DJ. You got it. You solved the case, my friend. Jojo says CC Moore could do it in a week. It still takes time. I don't think it would take her a week. I think backtracking through these family records takes months. Sometimes they have to request them from different countries. Sometimes they have to pull them from different databases. It's not as easy as it makes it out. But hey, they want to send it to Othram. They want to send it to Parabon. They want to send it to the FBI genetic genealogy department. There's a few of them that do it. Maybe they can backtrack through this guy's family tree and find out who he is. Because you have to think, he killed the woman you see in the video, killed her this year, but 6 years ago, he killed another woman in a very similar way. This is a photo here of the 2018 scene. That's her vehicle there. She was found strangled and essayed in that car. You have to think, and what would make him wait over half a decade to kill another woman? Maybe he doesn't always kill them. Maybe he's a serial R-wordist. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't always have to kill him. Maybe it's only if they put up a really bad fight. Then he goes to that level. But maybe he's maybe there's more living victims around that might be able to come forward to give an ID. That would be a good clue for the police department if they can get it.
Given that this happened across 2 counties, do you have an idea of where the suspect might reside, or is there a general idea? Are you working closely with the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office to identify?
We are, yes. So over the course of the past days, the past week, we've been talking to them regularly, just trying to find out if there's any other similarities. As Detective Anderson had mentioned, Club Caribe is only 3 miles away from where our victim was found. So it's definitely possible that the suspect is still either lives in the area or visiting somebody in the area, but for it to have been so geographically tied is, pretty coincidental.
Did the women appear to be, either victim appear to be, compromised through, whether it was a date rape drug or anything like that?
I don't believe. We're still waiting on some things to come back yet. The second autopsy is not yet complete.
Is it normal? So like when you find the DNA, but then not having it matched to somebody, I guess kind of talk us through that process, right? It's like somebody might watch and oh, you have the DNA, but you don't have a suspect.
Yeah, it's relatively rare. It takes somebody not having committed a felony, been arrested, and their DNA being entered into the system, which typically people committing really violent murders have probably committed something similar to that in the past, or at least been arrested. And that does not appear to be the case in this case.
So,
because I think he might be young. So he hasn't had the criminal background to be put through like the database system when he's being arrested. These may be his very earlier crimes, or I like the theory he put out. The fact that what if he's visiting the area every so often? That would be very interesting. The fact that there's that one from 2018 and then one in 2024. What if he only comes back to the area to visit, I don't know, a sick mother, a grandfather, something like that, and he's not in the area all the time? That would be very interesting. Kathy says, "Do you have a way to get a get well message to Four Sons Mum from the chat group?" I do. I do. You can email me sundayWithPing@gmail.com and I can make sure she gets that from you. Yes, I do have a way. Yeah, so I reckon the only two directions this can go is either they track down a victim of a crime where the end result was not murder. So the SA took place, but the victim wasn't killed. They were, released or ran away. They find a tip through someone who calls in randomly saying, "Hey, I think this might be a dude that hangs out at the club every Friday night, and he's a bit rough with the women there, and he lives in the local area." Or they work back through the genetic genealogy and try to get a family tree going and see if they can track it all the way back. Makes it very difficult. Like some people in chat were speculating, maybe he hasn't been in the country very long, and maybe we're about to find out this is the third or fourth murder of females we're about to find out is a person who shouldn't be here or is in the country without without authority. Sean says it's confusing trying to understand genealogy. What? Where's my friend Jojo? Jojo says things may have changed, but about 10 years ago, this was my hobby. Both of my best friends were adopted at birth, so I started studying everything about the subject. I think it complicates things when they may not know if they're from America or not. If they're American, the data train is probably easier to follow. You start moving into South America or, Mexico, other countries, Venezuela, you may end up running into some brick walls trying to find records for certain things. Countries that have had issues tend to have poor record keeping. So we'll see. I'm interested to hopefully get a resolution to this one. I think that footage is spooky where you see our person of interest and the woman who would end up murdered just moseying down the street, and she winds up dead in a random abandoned home a day later. They find her body in an abandoned home and she's no longer alive.
on these videos, both of these are Alyssa, correct?
Yes.
How did they end up meeting, getting to the point where they're walking down the street? Was that at another club?
That's a good question. We don't know where they met either. They could have known each other for some period of time. They could have met just that day. So that's still being explored and investigated.
What's your hope with sharing this information?
Anyone that knows Alyssa would hopefully come forward if they had any little bit of trivial information, someone they thought she might have been hanging out with recently, somebody that maybe moved into town recently, any little bit that they think could be helpful, especially knowing that there's another victim in this case, would definitely be helpful.
What's the gathering of evidence process for you now since the first initial suspected homicide in 2018 with Mrs. Aviles? Are you interviewing some of her friends and family as well? Are you going through cell phone records?
Okay, I'm bored of this reporter. Her questions are, I don't know, just infantile. They're bizarre. She just asked the detective, so are you like talking to their relatives and family and friends and looking for text messages? Are you joking? Do you think that this is the guy's first day on the job? Do you think that he just got out of detective school and they don't know about checking people's phones and stuff? I mean, it's just odd. Sarah Byrne, Penguin says, do you know anything about the latest Sarah Byrne court appearance? Sarah Byrne. That's the Torres junior killing, right? I haven't seen anything. I don't think me. I think the last thing I saw was something that she was complaining at court. Something about she didn't she hadn't had enough time or she was ill prepared to go to trial. So if people don't know what that is about, um she got told she had to represent herself, I think, right? Because she'd piss farted around so much with other attorneys that were court appointed that they basically made her represent herself. Basically, she's been she's been labeled as difficult, and they don't want. Yeah, she's gone through so many attorneys that they're just like, well, you've abused your court allowance for attorneys, and you're just gonna have to do it on your own. Yeah, that's the last thing I heard was that she was complaining about being unprepared. Yeah, I can show you something from Newsweek 4 days ago. A big court win for alleged suitcase killer. They're saying Sarah Boone, the Florida woman accused of murdering her boyfriend by trapping him in a suitcase, was handed a major legal win on Friday as she prepares to represent herself in an upcoming trial. She is now free to appear in court without handcuffs, and her leg shackles will also be removed once her trial begins on October 7, after the Orange County Circuit Judge approved her handwritten motion. Oh, here you go. Here's a photo of it. What does it say? Motion for defendant's reasonable freedom in movement by allowing her to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, and to function equally and comfortably while utilizing the courtroom. I don't think she would have been given this right had she not have to represent herself. If she had had an attorney or a lawyer or whatever, she would have she would not have been given this right, I don't think. Because the only reason they're doing this is probably because she has to act in her own self-defense. Sorry, not her self-defense. Well, yes, but her own defense at court. I think that's the only reason that she's being allowed that. They're saying the 46-year-old Florida woman was charged with second-degree murder related to the 2020 death of her boyfriend. She allegedly convinced him to get into a suitcase at their home, then zipped him up inside of it. When she opened the suitcase the next day, he was dead. Sorry, I don't often do that. Put your hand up in chat. We like to play this game. Put your hand up in chat. Would you leave a human being in a suitcase for over 24 hours and then just go off with your day like, oh, maybe I should check on them. It's now Friday. Where are they? Oh, they're still in the suitcase. Oh, I should go check on them. That is just warped. It is warped beyond a reasonable doubt of warped. She lost her legal right to counsel in June after she went through 8 lawyers, with multiple resigning due to irreconcilable differences. In her motion, Boone requested to be unshackled and unhandcuffed in the courtroom, so she could turn pages, pick up objects, open documents, pass information, and utilize a laptop and freely perform other normal movements. She's saying, I'm just asking to sit here unhandcuffed so I can write without taking skin off my wrist and being uncomfortable. The Orange County Sheriff Deputy Gavin Lowton voiced his disapproval of the motion during the testimony at the hearing, based on the charge she's currently facing and previous domestic violence arrests. He also alleged she has refused to come to court for hearings on 3 separate occasions. What's that got to do with it? That's an odd defense at it. He says when you combine all that, it shows she has a propensity for violence and not wanting to follow the lawful commands and orders from law enforcement personnel. Yeah, she also has the right to put up a defense, so you're going to get overturned on that. They said Boone challenged his claims. She says, I've never missed a court date. In almost 5 years that I've been here, I've never argued, I've never hesitated. Court records from a hearing on January 28, 2021 state Boone will not be present because she refused. Kranick ruled in Boone's favor during the trial. She will wear a stun cuff. The hell is a stun cuff? Like what you put on a dog when they go outside the yard and they go too far and they go... Is that what that is? The hell is a stun cuff? Oh my lord. What the hell? Here. Non-lethal device for law enforcement for officer safety and prisoner compliance. So it looks like they strap it to a limb, either your legs or an arm. And then if you're bad, they zap you. I'm just trying to see how it works. How does it work? Let's watch stun cuff instructional videos. Okay. Yeah. Play the video.
The batteries will be disconnected, so you will need to reconnect the plug. Take the cuff and using the included screwdriver, unscrew the 4 screws and remove the cover. To strap on the stun cuff, take the included standard handcuff keys and insert the key in the hole on the side of the stun cuff and turn clockwise. This will release the straps, but it will automatically lock up as soon as the straps are reinserted. To turn on the stun cuff, take the remote and rub the bottom of the remote over the LED light area of the stun cuff. The green power light will turn on. Press the on button on the remote control within 12 seconds, or the stun cuff will turn off and you will need to repeat the procedure. After pressing the on button, the green light on the stun cuff will flash quickly. Then, the seconds, press the fire button. This will initiate a 3-second shock. The fire button can be held down for longer shock. The shock will continue for 3 seconds after the fire button is released. Should your cuff fire for no reason, press and hold the on button until the stun cuff is shut off.
Sorry, what did he just say? Did he say if your stun cuff fires for no reason? So she could be in court and all of a sudden she just gets a 50,000 volt to the ankle. And they're like, what did I do? And they're like, I don't know. It just did it on its own. It's basically like a taser strapped to your leg. Yeah. I don't know. They might insert it somewhere, Rubicon. might be for internal and external use. I think they just mean that you just put it. There's a key thing in here that you have to use to unlock it. But that is brutal. So she gets the iron chains removed, but as a compromise, she has to wear this, and if she acts up, she gets a zap
for 3 seconds.
like this. I'll show you. She gets one of these. Two. That's not going to show you now. Let's see. They're not going to show it. But anyway, you get a massive zap to the leg. It's brutal. Someone shopping for Christmas early, Pink. No, I don't want one. That thing is brutal. I mean, I know there's probably people who deserve it and they need it, but far out. Let's see. Is this what I want to see it actually go off on a
Hello
person?
and welcome to the and ready to fire. The cuff must be charged.
Oh my God, what
You
is
must
that
repeat
one?
this process for both cuffs to have them both on. Once you have done this and the power light on the dual cuffs is glowing green, pick up your transmitter and press the on button firmly.
Oh my God, is that like a whole body one? So this is like for your chest or something? And these are for the legs? Oh my Lord. That's crazy. They're just like
Once done,
put them all over the body. So if they try and run, you take out both the legs, you take out their chest, you take out both arms, and they just spasm on the floor for up to half an hour at a press of a key. I mean,
Thank
it's
you for
probably good for
watching.
dangerous people, but I'm concerned that that thing is crazy. Jojo said, I had a murder accomplice sit in my section wearing that thing. Trust me, she needed it. I'm sure it's needed for some people, yeah. Sean said, I saw a similar in the 90s, but the electrodes were in the handle of a briefcase. For money transportation or important documents, if it was stolen, you push a remote control button. Not legal in AU. Just Russia, right? Just Russia. That is crazy. So she's gonna have to wear one of these things. So she got the iron chains taken off, but she has to wear this. I don't know which one is worse or which one will give a. If she's worried about perception to the jury, I don't know which one makes it worse. Whether you wear the typical inmate handcuffs and leg shackles, or you wear this giant, looks like a 1990s mobile phone or cell phone strapped to your leg, and it gives you a $50,000 volt volt. If you muck up. Didn't she ask for that stun cuff as long as she has no cuffs or yeah, she might have requested it. Does it say here in our document? Let's have a look. It just says here that the judge ruled in her favor during the trial she will wear a stun cuff. It says a courthouse deputy Chad Barnett explained during his testimony that the wireless cuff is secured to the leg and can discharge 50,000 volts, which would cause the person wearing it to fall. One deputy will be in charge of monitoring Boone and controlling the cuff during the trial. Imagine that. That's your job all day. Don't fall asleep. She might might escape. You'd have to sit there all day. I am the controller of the remote control. I imagine if it just went off randomly, like they said. They're like, oh, if your stun cuff just fires for no reason, press the off key. I mean, maybe they just go off randomly. I want to see if she requested that or not. It doesn't show me here, but I believe that, yeah. I believe if she thought that was a better option, sure. Brutal. We'll see what happens when we go to trial. Kathy says, I'll take the shackles. Yeah, I know, right? I would just take that. I'm like, I don't want a taser strapped to my leg. I'll take the handcuffs. I'm good. They need to make one that goes around your neck like a dog, like when your dog runs into the yard and runs past the fence line, and they go. Rrr. Oh, we did? I can't remember. We cover too many. We cover far too many stories. I often forget them. All right. It feels like this week has been a week of cold cases being solved, has it not? It really has. We've had heaps of them. Well, I have one from UT Austin from 44 years ago. Geez, Ping, speak properly. Um, a 25-year-old nursing student called Susan who was abducted and shot in the head more than 40 years ago. Well, 15 hours ago, KVUE put out a video about a man arrested in connection with her death. So I'm going to play that for you now. It's not very long, it's like a minute.
The death of a UT Austin nursing student. On the night of January 10th, 1980, 25-year-old Susan Wolf was abducted on Franklin Street while walking to her friend's house. According to Austin police, two men kidnapped her and forced her inside their 1970 Dodge Polara. Susan's body was found early the next morning in an alley along East 17th Street. She had been sexually assaulted, strangled, and shot in the head. In April of last year, detectives submitted DNA evidence to the Texas DPS Crime Laboratory. And in February of 2024, just a few months ago, that evidence was entered into a nationwide database, which is constantly being updated with DNA profiles from convicted offenders. In March, there was a match. Deck Brewer Jr., who is now 77 years old and currently incarcerated in Massachusetts on a parole violation. However, the case here in Travis County is ongoing. APD is still trying to find the passenger in the car when Susan Wolf was abducted. Now, if you happen to have any information, call Crime Stoppers. The number is right here on your screen, 512-472-TIPS.
Isn't that interesting? So we heard of a current homicide from before where they have the DNA and it didn't have a hit in CODIS. You hear of this one and they were able to get a hit many years later. The guy is in prison already, but they can't find the other person who was in the vehicle that night. That's very interesting, and I doubt the perpetrator that they do know, I doubt he's going to give up the name of that person. Yeah, I'm going to bring you another link on it because that was very, very small. Yeah. Susan Lee Wolf, 25, was found dead of a gunshot wound to the head in 1980. Okay. There's a sketch of the vehicle. They said the 78-year-old man who has now been charged with murder committed over 40 years ago after genetic genealogy helped investigators identify him as a suspect. His name is Deck Brewer Jr., a man already imprisoned in Massachusetts, has been charged with the murder of 25-year-old Susan Wolf, according to the Austin, Texas Police Department. Wolf had just enrolled as a nursing student at the University of Texas at Austin when she was kidnapped and essayed and killed on January 9th, 1980, according to police. Horrible, right? They said on her body found the next morning in an alley, her body had evidence of ligature, strangulation, and the cause of death was gunshot wound to the head. During an autopsy, a pathologist found evidence of SA by one of two unknown suspects in the car. For a year after the murder, investigators followed dozens of leads and tracked down dozens of cars that fit the description. Police said over the years they had 40 persons of interest and conducted interviews with at least 6 people. In 2023, detectives submitted evidence related to her SA to the Texas Department of Public Safety Crime Laboratory, where forensic experts evaluated it and determined it was suitable for testing. In February, Austin police received the test results, which produced a male profile for the suspect and eliminated the previous 6 people who were not a genetic match. That's very interesting. So, 6 people for 40 years thought they might be getting pinned for a crime that they never committed. And then when they finally got DNA evidence, it was some guy over here who they had never interviewed. Very interesting. They said police then entered the profile into CODIS, which they got a hit basically. In March, Austin police received a notification for a possible match in Massachusetts, where Brewer is currently incarcerated on unrelated charges. There you go. Apparently, when they conducted a short interview with him, he said he'd been in the Austin and San Antonio around the time of the murder. Police said Brewer asked for his rights to a lawyer when he was told DNA was found at the scene of a murder. I want a lawyer. It matches your DNA. I'm innocent. I want a lawyer. After the DNA comparison was conducted, an Austin court found probable cause to charge Brewer in the murder of Wolf. So that is very good. Hey, it just shows you, just because you make it to your 70s doesn't wipe away all the dumb things you did when you were younger. The technology is getting so good now, and it's getting much faster that they can track you down very quickly. That is a good day for her family. A great day. Yeah, imagine getting zapped while doing your opening statement. Let's hope that happens. That would be very entertaining. All right. By the way, have all of you been watching the documentary, the Scott Peterson documentary? I'm not a huge fan of that particular that case and trial and whatever. But I watched the first 2 episodes last night. It is a very well done documentary, and that is the Lacey Peterson documentary. It's called American Murder, Lacey Peterson. It is pretty well done. It's a very high quality documentary. I mean, I don't know if everything in it is true. I'm not a huge you know, I'm not invested in that particular case. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but the documentary was quite good. All right, let's see what else we have on our list for tonight. By the way, I brought you a story a couple of weeks ago about an actor in LA called Johnny Wactor. 4 suspects have been arrested in his murder. Finally, right? Finally, they tracked them down. I'm going to bring you that in a second. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to go to KTLA 5, and they're going to...
Investigation. Finally tonight, some answers for the family and friends of murdered actor Johnny Wactor. 4 suspects have been arrested in connection with his shooting death. The LAPD making the arrest in South LA this morning.
KTLA's Rick Chambers spoke with Wactor's mother and his friends. He joins us live from downtown with their reaction. Rick.
Yeah, Shira, these arrests took place very early this morning as homicide detectives were serving search warrants at multiple locations around LA County. And after 2.5 months, that was great news to Wactor's family and friends.
It's just such a relief to see some action coming forward.
Anita Joy was a close friend of soap actor Johnny Wactor. In fact, she was with him the morning he was killed, and she's relieved there's been arrests.
Part of our grief is able to come up with our shoulders a little bit and be, finally getting those words we've been searching for so long, justice for Johnny.
Wactor, a regular on General Hospital, was shot and killed May 25th by thieves trying to steal his catalytic converter in downtown LA. And fingerprints on the jack used to raise the car reportedly led homicide detectives to the suspects. And early this morning, 80 plus days after the murder, police hit several locations in LA County and made the arrests.
So this is very encouraging. It does make me feel good, at least for a little while, that thank goodness. I'm really hoping that they've gotten everything they need to make this super, super airtight.
Investigators say that the suspects are all gang members. 3 are teenagers who will likely be charged with second-degree murder, but may be eligible at some point for parole. Not exactly what Scarlett Wactor would like.
I will be pushing and hoping for a federal charge so that they can be held responsible for, maybe a larger conviction, I should say.
Detectives say the fourth suspect, a 22-year-old from Inglewood, was an accessory to the killing.
I want them to have the harshest sentence possible. If you take a life, I'm sorry, you don't get the opportunity to come and live your life free ever again.
For Wactor's friends Kevin Bowers and Jeremy Luke, the arrests are welcome, but far from closure.
We lost our best friend, and none of this will bring him back. But at the end of the day, we hope to have solace in the future. It's going to be a long time before that happens.
DJ, what does it matter? Like she said, they're going to get paroled anyway due to their age. I mean, that is very sad. So a man lost his life to 4 people that are gang members, and they're just like, oh yeah, because of their age, they'll probably get paroled. Don't worry about it. Hey, we all make mistakes and kill people. Pretty crap. DJ says 50 cents for gloves would have protected them. Yeah, some nitrile gloves, and they would never have been found. Brutal. But hey, I'm glad there's an arrest, I guess, but it doesn't sound like justice at all. Apparently, the 4 suspects remain jailed on a $2 million bond at this time. And I'll go to NBC. It says here, the LAPD arrested 4 people in relation to the death of the actor Johnny Wactor, who was fatally shot in downtown LA in May. Search warrants led to the arrest of, they're all 18? Oh, no. 3 of them are 18, and 1 of them is 22. I mean, they should be considered adults, right? They're saying here, the late actor's mother had confirmed to NBC4 that the arrest had been made on Thursday. She said, they can't tell you anything. It's frustrating but understandable, explaining that officials with the LAPD thanked her for her patience as the investigation into her son's death had been underway for nearly 3 months since the General Hospital actor was gunned down in late May in downtown LA. She says, I feel like they would not have made the arrest had they not felt like they had good evidence and strong evidence. There you go. I hope so. I hope they can get some sort of justice for Johnny. That is because they were trying to steal a catalytic converter. They decided to shoot him. I mean, it just shows you that life is not worth anything to people these days. I mean, their lives are worth something, but not anyone else's. Yeah. Actually, I have a weird story here I want to show you. Man faces up to 40 years to life for murder, firearm use in 2022. There's a photo of him. A 33-year-old man was convicted on Thursday of an East Bakersfield murder in 2022. Richard Cortez was convicted of second-degree murder of the killing of Joshua Samarapas in December 2022. Cortez was also convicted for the use of a firearm. According to court documents, on December 30, 2022 at around 8:38 p.m., the Kern County Sheriff's deputies were called to the 3300 block of Center Street regarding a shooting. When they arrived, deputies said they saw a victim sitting down in front of 919 Passante Street, just west of the first reported area. The victim, later identified as Joshua, was slumped backwards and leaning against a car. Why? That sounds really familiar. Ironically, Joshua was responsive when deputies found a gunshot injury to their upper right back. He was taken to Kern Medical, where he later died. Detectives searched the area and found surveillance video of a Tacoma pickup truck, which was later found to be stolen. Cortez followed Joshua and passed by him as he walked down the street, according to the DA. Cortez stopped the truck in the middle of the road, stepped out, pointed a handgun at him, and fired 2 shots. Joshua was injured and ran to Pasante Street, where he was later found by deputies. Deputies found the pickup truck later abandoned and identified evidence connecting Cortez to the truck and the murder. An investigation revealed that they both knew each other. They're saying these extreme acts of violence committed by felons who illegally possess firearms are a top priority for prosecution. Violence in our streets and neighborhoods will not be tolerated. Interesting. He faces a sentence of up to 15 years to life in prison for the murder, plus 25 years to life for the use of a firearm to commit murder. So he could have a hell of a sentence on his hand. There's a photo of him. Just hopped out of a truck, pointed a handgun at the guy, and shot and killed him in the middle of the street. For what reason? Don't know. They knew each other. That's it. Hey, Evil. 1978, Alaska victim 17-year-old Shelley Conley. Shelley Conley. Let's have a look. It looks like that was a guilty verdict last year, over 8 months ago. So it sounds like there was a guilty verdict in the trial. So I don't think it was solved recently, but I can show it.
Investigators say his DNA proved a match decades after the crime, and today a jury found him guilty of murdering an Anchorage teenager. Lauren Maxwell was in court today for the closing arguments in the Shelley Connolly murder case. Lauren, what happened?
Well, I can tell you it was quick, Mike. It only took the jury about 2 hours to find Donald McQuaid guilty of murder in a crime that happened more than 40 years ago.
16-year-old Shelley Connolly was last seen in the early morning hours of January 7th, 1978, first at a local bar, then at an Anchorage restaurant. Later that morning, her body was discovered down an embankment on the Seward Highway. A pathologist would rule she'd been raped and murdered.
Investigators in 1978 had a good idea of what happened to Shelley Connolly. At the time, they could not get to who. Investigators could not have known over the course of this 40-year investigation that they had collected all of the evidence they needed to find Shelley's murderer on that first day.
The state says DNA evidence collected at the time linked the crime to this man, 67-year-old Donald McQuaid, who was 21 and living in Anchorage at the time of Shelley's death. But McQuaid's attorneys argued the evidence didn't prove who killed her.
Don McQuaid didn't rape Shelley Connolly. Don McQuaid did not murder Shelley Connolly. At best, the state's evidence shows that these two people might have had sex in the day or two before she died.
In the end, the state won jurors over.
Mr. McQuaid, will you please stand?
Finding McQuaid guilty on all counts. McQuaid appeared more tired than emotional after the verdict was read. He'd been out on bail for several years. Now he left the courthouse in handcuffs for a crime that happened more than 40 years ago.
And sentencing has been set for April 26th. I spoke with McQuaid's attorney, and that's public defender Benjamin Dressner, after that case, and he told me he does plan to appeal the decision. Also, that he strongly believes that McQuaid is innocent.
Can't be that innocent if they were able to convince, that many people that, he did it. Let me see. There's not a ton, because it's a case out of Alaska, there's not a ton of information on it. There's only one news agency that's doing it, which is the Alaska Daily or something. Anchorage teen cold case killer sentenced to 50 years. Sentenced to 50 years in jail. Let's see. Here's a photo of him. There's a photo of him of Donald McQuaid. They said an Oregon man was ordered Friday to spend half a century behind bars for murdering an Anchorage teenager in 1978. Superior Court Judge Andrew Peterson handed down Donald McQuaid's 50-year prison term in the death of 16-year-old Shelley Connolly, according to the Alaska Department of Law. A jury found McQuaid, now 67, guilty of first-degree murder in the case in December after genetic genealogy led to his arrest in 2019. The trial was delayed by the onset of the COVID pandemic. According to a Friday statement from the Department of Law, evidence was collected from her body in her killing and suspected R-word after she was found along the Seaward Highway south of Anchorage. At trial, McQuaid's defense said that the DNA was the only evidence prosecutors had against him, but jurors rejected that argument, and on Friday, the judge weighed in on McQuaid's actions. In his sentencing remarks, the judge prioritized the seriousness and circumstances of the crime, the harm to the victim and her family, and the need to emphasize community condemnation. The prosecutors wrote, Judge Peterson noted that Mr. McQuaid had lived a full life and had watched his children grow into adulthood, a privilege that Shelley and her family were denied. On Friday, prosecutors thanked the Alaska State Troopers who investigated the case for 45 years, as well as the State Scientific Crime Detection Lab and the Gresham Police Department in Oregon. So there you go. I can't believe he tried to argue that the only thing they had against him was DNA. He's like, it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone's DNA. It's not me. I mean, sure, my DNA was located in the victim, but could be anyone who killed her. What a 50 years. He won't make it out of prison. He will not survive. He'll never see the light of day again. I wanted to see if we could find anything else on Shelley, because I'd rather focus on the victim. Let's see if we can find anything nice about Shelley. Yeah, we can hear from her family. That'd be cool.
An Anchorage jury this week finding a 67-year-old man guilty of murder in the 1978 death of Shelley Connolly, bringing about complicated feelings for one of her family members.
Like at this point, I feel like I'm just going through the motions of the day because my brain is just still so numb.
Shyla Malone is Connolly's niece and says though she was born after Connolly's death, the young woman's passing had a tremendous effect not only on her family, but on Malone herself, as they all sought answers in a case that went cold decades ago. The crime saw renewed possibility for being solved in 2019 after genetic genealogy led to a match between samples taken from Connolly's evidence kit and the DNA of a man in the lower 48. Donald McQuaid, who had been living in Oregon.
It's a different type of DNA profile that's used in the CODIS system. The profile is compared against known profiles in databases like Ancestry.com and whatnot. And essentially, they find the suspect's relatives.
I always thought that they had been working on the case, but I didn't know that she had been selected for this genealogical reverse lookup until after they had arrested him. I was in complete shock and disbelief, and I couldn't believe that they had finally found somebody that, at that time we didn't know if he was guilty or not, so that could have done it.
And now, years after the arrest, a guilty verdict and a new reality setting in for the family that's not only been looking for answers, but for a path toward peace.
My family felt really guilty, and they just felt guilty even though it wasn't their fault, the what if I could have done. I just wish that they were here to have seen this as well.
Now, as for McQuaid, his legal counsel has maintained his innocence throughout the duration of the trial. His lawyer saying the DNA evidence doesn't prove McQuaid killed Connolly. His family also reacting to the verdict this week.
That doesn't mean that he killed the gal. They all got confused, and they're trying to say that DNA is the thing. Well, it's not. But anyway, they weren't the judge, and it's an appealable case mainly because the judge did not allow certain things because of the age and the laws pertaining to this particular case.
And McQuaid can appeal the verdict in this case. For her part, Malone, Connolly's niece, says she knows it's appealable, but again expressed relief at
his family and his lawyers sound deluded. So what would your claim be? The claim that you just R-worded her and that's it? Oh, I just, I'm a bit of an R-wordist, I like to do that in my spare time, but I didn't kill her. I just R-worded her, and then I just left her there. Someone else must have killed her, not me though. But I'm only guilty of that. I'm only guilty of doing that to that young girl. Well, buddy, even if we sentence you to 30 years for just that offense, you would still die in prison. So I don't know what you want me to. I don't know what you want everyone to do for you. So you can either take it with this hand or that hand, but either way, you're still going to die not a free man. So there you go. Evil Alaska says where he dumped Shelley's body was Beluga Lookout, pull off where we used to go to watch the whales migrate. It's sort of beautiful but very sad. I wanted to see what his defense was of like why he said the DNA was like what was he even doing in Alaska if he lived in the lower 48? It doesn't even say. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the background to it, so I can't tell you. But a very interesting case. Thank you, Evil. Let's see if they have anything on this one. That's such a nice photo of her too. It's such a nice photo of Shelley. They say here a jury in the town of Anchorage this week found. Yep. I'm just trying to see if there's any background here to any of it. So at the time, he was age 21 and was living in Anchorage at the time. Okay, so he lived in the area at the time. Eventually, he moved away, probably due to the crime. They're saying the defense argued that the DNA evidence did not answer the question of who actually killed Shelley, only that their client likely had sex with her sometime before the murder. Yeah, you could argue that, but then tell us how she ended up on the side of the road or where you left her, and then how someone else came across her within the same time frame of what they think of when she died. If you can explain that, you might have a leg to stand on. But if you can't, then it's just a poor defense. But the state argued successfully that McQuaid killed her during a SA and then dumped her body. Don McQuaid did not murder Shelley Connolly. At best, the state's evidence shows that these two people might have had sex in the day or two before she died. Not a likely explanation. McQuaid appeared tired as the jury's verdict was read out. A delay in the trial was caused by the COVID pandemic, meant that he had spent the last few years on bail, but he was taken away from the courthouse in handcuffs. Good. McQuaid's lawyers are expected to lodge an appeal. He is due for sentencing. Yeah, he got sentenced to 50 years in jail. Good. Her family and her deserve justice. When was that? 2023. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, thanks for bringing that to us, Miss Alaska. Oh, my God. Hey Brenda, how are you? I think we're gonna wrap up shortly. I think it's so late at night. Everyone's tired. So I think we're gonna I don't think I have anything else to bring to you for tonight. I'm just checking my Actually, I want to see this. What is this? Oh yeah. Let's go to Fox News. What is it? Which one? Fox 45 in Baltimore. They released a video of Rachel Morin suspect being arrested at a Tulsa, Oklahoma bar. I want to see that. Let's watch it. So this is the guy responsible for that LA um, crime against a young girl and her mum in the home in LA that we see on the video, and then for killing and essaying Rachel Morin later on in a different state. Here we go. Oh, we don't get any audio? No audio. Hey, Moonlight View. All right, into the bar we go. Into the predator's natural habitat.
¿Sí o no? No, ¿te hago foro? ¿Ah? ¿No? All right. Any ID? No?
Sorry, I had to pause it because the music in the background will get in a lot of trouble. But they're asking him for ID. And he's like, no, I don't have any ID. My name is, you know, John McCain. My name is John McCain. So they're obviously asking him to write down his name. And they're probably going to arrest him and search his ass. Pretty cool to see the video. I don't think we've seen it before of him being arrested. Looked like he was trying to have a good night and his whole world came crashing down. I hope all those people behind him are all his buddies that he came to the bar with. They can see what a creep their friend is, what a total piece of crap their buddy is. Yeah, take him into custody, tell him to stop resisting, give him a couple of these to the head. Stop resisting. Give him a couple of quick ones. Turn the camera off. I'm just kidding. I would never advocate for people to hurt people being arrested. Kathy says you need to do all the voices on the video. I can't speak Spanish though. I can't speak any and all he's doing is speaking a different language, so I would be terrible at it. But look, he's in handcuffs. He's probably never gonna be out of those handcuffs again. Yeah, take his jewelry. Just no, don't undo it. Just like snap it off his neck like you got a trophy, and just hold it in the air and be like, "We got him." That would have been so hardcore if they did that. They would have just gone like, and then just held it up like, we got the victory. I'm just glad to see he's arrested. Hey Kim, good night. We're about to wrap up. I just want to watch this video of him being arrested and then we're gonna go. But great. Wonder what he's thinking right now in his little peanut brain. Is he thinking, "Welp, that's it. They've got me." Or is he like, I reckon I could run from here. I reckon I could make a run for it. Look, he's looking down the alleyway. I wonder if he's like, I could run down there. I could, oh no, now there's a cop there. I can't run there anymore. Come on, take him into custody. Let's go. I will. Thanks, Laura. As soon as this ends, we're going to go. What are they standing around for? Are they waiting for a transport, are they? It's odd that they wouldn't have one on them. Oh my god, this goes for like an hour and a half. What do they do for an hour and a half? Okay, let's go forward a little bit. Wait, where did they go? Hey, where'd everybody go? Alright, they do something. Look him up in the system. Get some shackles on him. Get him into a car, I guess. Where are we going? Okay.
Take 40 to Arctic. Okay, fine. You just went to the other side. We use. Yeah. Okay. Let me see his license. Oh, yeah, I don't have to worry. One second, it's over here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You can see him arrested, sitting in the police station, contemplating, how did I get here? What life choices did I make that I'm now going to get arrested for murder? Yeah, you guys can send me an email sundaywithping@gmail.com and I will get any of your well wishes to Forsung's mum for you. I will make sure that they get to her. All I can tell you is that I hope she makes it through this. I'm sure the hospital that she is at has some of the best nurses and doctors, in the whole of the USA, and they will look after her. They will look after her. They'll get her back to us, I'm sure. Yeah, don't be doing the dishes at like 2 a.m. in the morning. That's crap. Just leave them. Do it in the morning when you come. It's updated, right? We put it on the about page. It should be on the about page now, Sean. Did you guys not get the update? Hold on. Did we do that already? I know it was... Hold on, let me check. I know where we're doing an update to the about page because it doesn't have anything on it. Let me go through my emails. If it's not there yet, it will be by tomorrow. I know that because we did a whole new about page. It's got more channel information, email, PO box, a few other things. It's not updated yet. Okay, it should be by tomorrow. It'll be up. So you guys should have a new email to contact. The donation links are there. A PO box and just more general information about what the channel's about. So if it's not there now, it will be by tomorrow. I think it takes a while to be approved. All right. There you go. Shackley's ass to the chair. Probably going to go in for questioning, I guess, or into a cell. Well, there you go. We finally got to see the video of him being arrested. I love it. Must be a great feeling for her family to finally have an answer to what happened to Rachel. I mean, it was a long journey, but they can now watch that video as much as they want and know that the police did a great job tracking him down, finding him in Tulsa, Oklahoma, not LA, not the state that Rachel was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What a weird place to end up. But hey, I'm gonna be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Trish is not on, so it's just me again. I was still quite tired from last night because we had such a late night, being at the restaurant and that. So that's why we came on at 11:30. But tomorrow, I hope to be on at 10:30, a little earlier, so more people can stick around and hang out. So I will see you then. Yeah, I'll see you then at 10:30. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your evening. If you're in Australia, have a great rest of your Saturday evening. And I will see you tomorrow night for a Saturday night show. What are we going to do on Saturday night? Maybe we're going to have a police chase for Friday night for Saturday night in America. That'd be good. We just had I had fish and chips. I think other people had other food, but yeah. Moonlight View says, sure do appreciate everyone in the chat. Truly a loving family and ping. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the birthday wishes over the last few days. I really appreciate it. It's been very nice of everyone. And yeah, now do I get to claim I'm old now? Is that all right? Now that I'm in my 40s. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for a great show. The channel wouldn't be here without the people who come here every night, hang out, and contribute. By the way, Sean sent me a donation that just says mushrooms. Okay. Mushrooms. To buy some of the magic ones or to go to the trial. Who knows? One or the other. All right. Bye. Have a good night. See you later.